Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another freshly baked episode of the Anime Gourmands, ready to be served on a plate by your gourmands, Kevin and Cade. Cade, how you doing?
Bro, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, it was a weird weekend. All right. Plans changed. We adapt. We survive. We thrive. That's the that's the motto of the podcast. We say it every episode. Cade, did you have a good Easter weekend?
Yeah, it was good.
Heck yeah.
We had ham.
Oh,
Ham's
Easter
tasty.
ham? I didn't know that was a thing.
It's not.
Fair. Fair. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the Easter eggs are kind of like the only real like well-known tradition in America. Everything else is like tradition within a community, you know.
You just go to church. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Generally speaking, yeah. Cade, we're here to do a couple of hypecasts. We're doing Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 Part 1. And we will also be doing a hypecast for the hour-long episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run, which I watched yesterday with my brother. Because he is a huge JoJo guy. He was pointing out all the... He's like, oh yeah, that's the theme from like season 3. I'm like, oh, I couldn't have told you one way or another, but the music, awesome as always. Let's go ahead and start with Jujutsu Kaisen, Cade. Earlier this season, we did a hypecast for the first, refresh my memory, was it the first 7 episodes? We got to Tokyo Colony number 1, part 1.
That was like episode 5 then, I think.
Somewhere around there. They fought the guy who had the helicopter or no, sorry. Was it the woman who had the helicopter hair?
Oh, I think it was episode 6. I think we got to episode 6.
Yeah. And Pratia, I think we left off with like yeah, that's one of the lamer fights.
Yeah.
That we've seen. But it's not like it was propped up to be like a huge fight or anything. It was just kind of like first contact. You know, I think the purpose of it was to display the free-for-all nature of it, right? So after that episode, we meet Higuruma. What did you think of that arc? It was a couple episodes there.
You're talking about the judge, right?
Or yes, the defense attorney earned Jujutsu sorcerer.
He was cool. I liked his motives. I liked his little backstory. You know, how he kind of lost it when the guy he fought for kind of turned against him.
Oh my gosh!
But
heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was a little heartbreaking, but it made sense, and it was a good little backstory for how he came to be a killer. So.
And even the way it happened was kind of interesting in the sense that he starts like banging the gavel on the table, right? Yeah, and it's just like this moment of like, oh my god, he's lost it.
So yeah. I think that fight was cool. I liked his use of his weapon, the hammer. I don't know. It was kind of surprising to see him become a first, like on level with a first degree sorcerer, like so fast. I thought that was really cool. It's like, okay, this guy means business. And I like that his ability kind of gives people a chance. You know, like that kind of goes along with his nature as an attorney. You know, like that's Yeah, I like that. So
yeah, I agree on every point. Yeah.
Yeah, Higuruma was really cool. And then we had, what was next? We had Reggie Star, and Megumin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool fight.
That was exhilarating. They kept like one-upping each other over and over and over the whole episode, right?
Well, it was cool because, I mean, they're both summoners, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just one summons like, animals and the other summons objects.
Mm-hmm.
And concepts. He summons the one night stands or one night stays at the hotels.
Yep.
And it's like rests him up.
I'm fully refreshed now.
Yeah. Very interesting character. And I think the way that Megumin handles him is pretty cool too. Knowing that his domain isn't finished yet, so he leads him into a kind of gymnasium, like where it's closed off and contained, so he can create his own domain or like complete it, with outside circumstances,
Yes.
So, but also Reggie using the domain against him with the cards. That was cool. I never even thought of it like that. So, it was cool to see the other side of Megumin's ability, come out. Where
totally.
It's not just invincible ability where he can just pull things in and out of his shadow. No, there's like a weight concept to it. Like he can only carry what he could physically carry, So that was cool.
Yeah, we saw a few concepts explored. So it's like it shows that an incomplete domain can work against you in a way, I don't think we were like introduced to that concept yet. It seems like domains up to this point have been basically like aces in the holes, right?
Well, they've all been created so that they have a guaranteed hit concept, and that's kind of what they were explaining in that fight, was that it used to be a lot easier to make these domains, but once sorcerers started incorporating that guaranteed hit thing, then it excluded a lot of sorcerers because a lot of them couldn't get that concept. So without that concept, like all the sorcerers can basically make that domain happen. And so, where am I going with? Shit, I lost my train of thought. Anyways.
Well, let me see if I can redirect this flow, because I think this is actually really interesting. This concept of domains and Megumin's and Reggie's fight was super interesting. Because we see Reggie multiple times in a position of disadvantage, right? He tries to use like the wicker basket technique at the beginning, which is supposed to be like an anti-domain technique. But I believe the narrator explains that like it's a defense against the guaranteed hit. But like you said, Megumin's domain doesn't come with that. So the wicker basket was completely useless. We see Reggie kind of bait Megumin into, getting Pink Elephant out, right? And we see the weight, the toll that gets put on Megumin. I don't know if there's another domain that we've seen throughout the course of the show that works quite like this, right? Putting a heavy strain on the curse user, activating the domain. All domains like use really like high levels of cursed energy, and we see like in the final episode, people get a little burnt out right after using domains, right? But that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is in the process of the domain being out, Megumin, it's like a double-edged sword here, where he's trying to bury Reggie, and he is having to put strain on himself, right? And I think it culminates for. Oh, go ahead.
It's not that his domain necessarily puts that strain on him. I mean, yes, obviously it's straining to activate your domain, but the only reason why he was in that position where like all the G's were on him was because Reggie brought in stuff from outside.
Right.
So like the domain itself was only supposed to incorporate Reggie, but then because he kept using his receipts, it brought in like 3 cars, right?
3 cars to start, yeah.
Yeah. And so that weight of 3 cars was not what Megumin had anticipated. And so like that weight of that in his domain was what was crushing him. And then in order to kind of combat Reggie so that he couldn't, move either, was by dropping the elephant on him. But I don't think the Shikigami count as weight, because otherwise, like, why would he be able to carry around an elephant?
Right.
I think those are just shadow concepts. But also, why would it count as weight to Reggie then? But whatever. Maybe I'm reading too far into it.
No. I think it's something worth exploring, right? Because it's like they don't necessarily give you the answer there, right? I think you're on the right track. The Shikigami probably don't count towards the weight against Megumin, I imagine, right? I don't know. Or maybe it's more like whatever the shadow absorbs, right? Because the elephant comes from above, hits Reggie, and then the elephant starts sinking. And then that's when Megumi kind of goes like, oh, just hold on a little bit more, make sure he's dead, make sure he can't come back, right? And then Reggie gives those original 3 cars a command so that he can escape from the shadow, right? And then we see him pull out the ultimate receipt. An entire fucking house. God, Reggie was sick in this fight, I'm not gonna lie. And then
Can we talk about how he is a master surfer?
Yes.
That was insane.
Was that in this episode, or was that in the preamble? In the previous episode, the pre-fight, if you will.
In the beginning of that episode, or I don't know. But either way, Megumin summons this tidal wave of water with his elephant, and Reggie just fucking pulls out a surfboard from one of his receipts and just starts, cruising, putting every surfer to shame in our world. And going down staircases, fucking zooming around corners like it's nothing. It's crazy. But shit, yeah. So even after everything, Reggie ends up dying to the dogs, right?
Right. So I just want to like do a little play real quick. So Reggie summons the house. Megumi cancels the curse the domain expansion, right? Which I guess with the weight of everything, caved in the floor, and Reggie wakes up in the pool. Right? So then Megami, climbs down to fight Reggie on the outskirts of the pool, and that's when we learn that the demon dog being dead was like kind of like a double bluff by Megumin to set up this moment. And that's how the fight ends, right? I want to ask you a question because I don't think it's explicitly stated, but to me, this fight was one of my favorites of the series. Let's say it's a top 7 fight for me. I just want to be respectful to all the other fights we've seen, obviously. Because Megami to me is not special grade yet. And I'm pretty sure they don't say Reggie's special grade, but his ability is kind of
first.
His ability is broken as fuck. Right? And I think
it's only broken because he's amassed so many receipts.
Right. It's definitely,
for example,
some
of those receipts have like tons of things on them. It's not like just a couple items.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, it comes with a lot of prep time. But yeah, if you have that prep time, he's like Batman,
Totally. I mean, you could argue the same for Megami, right? Like he doesn't come with Shikigami necessarily. Like there's some prep time involved in that as well, right? So if you kind of look at it that way, they're almost in like the same category of fighter, right? I think a matter of fact, they say as much. Like they're both summoners. There is a summoning battle, which is super cool. We hadn't really seen like a Shikigami user versus a Shikigami user. But in my eyes, like Reggie's either like high end grade 1 at worst and special grade at best, and Megumin's like low grade 1 right now. So to me, this was kind of like an underdog fight, and it was more about Megumin's intelligence and ability to plan for different scenarios and have like backup plans to kill Reggie. I think it really like fleshed out his battle IQ. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that as well, or am I overstating the underdoggedness of this fight?
I think the biggest thing that we kind of see with Megumin here is his ability to kill. You know how Itadori is kind of like, oh, I don't want to kill, but like sometimes I guess I have to. It really depends on the circumstance.
It's last option.
Megumin's like, all right, time to die. He's doing everything he can to not let his sister participate. So
right.
Yeah, he's like, I don't give a fuck. And so that was kind of interesting to see. Because I previously I thought that Itadori had kind of gotten through to him, like season 1, how Megumin's kind of like, there's nothing we can do. They're all dead. We just kind of have to go. And then, Itadori's like, oh no, we can at least bring something back for his parents. It matters, right? And it's not something we can just ignore, like someone's life. We can't just ignore it. So it was interesting to kind of see that. Maybe I mistook that as kind of like a turning point for him, but in my opinion, to see him go back on that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're off the mark at all. I think Yuji is supposed to be that sort of like galvanizing force, right? And a moral compass in a way to the other sorcerers in his class. And Megami definitely gets affected by it. It's just now you bring in his family, right? You get his family involved, and that changes things always. I mean, look, man, we've all seen Taken, The Equalizer. Like, you involve family and things, and people are willing to go the extra mile, do what's necessary, right? But you're totally right. I hadn't considered that concept. If you switch Megumi and Yuji in this fight, Yuji probably tries to find a way to like recruit and or like at least like
find the good side of him.
Find the good side, exactly. Kind of Tanjiro his way through fighting, right? Or even Utah, right? Like not to spoil the conversation for the last episode, but like even Utah is kind of like, I would prefer not to kill, you know. Mostly. Let's see here. We also meet in this episode. Well, I mean, we meet him a little bit before, but the comedian, also known as, I'm pulling up his name right now because I forgot. You can see half his ass at all times. Takaba Fumihiko.
What was it?
Takaba Fumihiko. Fumihiko Takaba. And his technique, is essentially, if something is funny, he can make it happen, right? So it would be funny if he survived a direct hit,
well,
and therefore he does.
It's funny
right?
to him.
Right. If it's funny, which is even more subjective and insane. Yeah. Gosh, imagine a Maharaga versus Fumihiko Takaba. That's not an original thought. I've seen that posted on the Reddit and YouTube, but the idea of like Maharaga being the ultimate being that can adapt to any situation, like what would his adaptation be against Takaba here, you know? It's a funny concept. But yeah, we see Takaba kind of easily handle his opponent, the guy with the exploding body parts. And lastly, we see Megumi chase after the girl who led him to Reggie. He decides to show mercy on her for whatever reason. Because he starts thinking of his sister. That's what it is. Yeah. Yes, Remy-san. Yeah. He starts thinking about his sister, says, I can't kill you. And then he passes out, and we see Angel appear, right? One of the curse technique users that they had decided they needed to look for under Tengen's, like, you know, it was one of the bullet points in Tengen's whole spiel, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Leo is being extra clingy today. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, and there is one last thing that happens in this episode. Set up the Sendai Colony. Dhruv, a former, I guess, like ancient sorcerer from India, gets, you know, brought back to life, and he gets he gets murked by Utah. They don't even show you the fight. It's just Utah with that blank, like, cold-heartedness. And we don't get to see like the lead up, the finale. Really, it's just like, hey, by the way, Utah killed this guy. And I believe the narrator goes into a little bit of like, he disrupted the balance in the colony, right? Which brings us to the last episode, Sendai Colony. So much happened. This could be its own episode, to be honest. But let's try to pick out the highlights of which you can remember. Cade, what were your favorite parts of Utah absolutely blowing up the Sendai Colony. He fights Kuroshi, the cockroach cursed spirit.
I think I'd have to say against the Sky Girl. I think the Sky Girl's abilities are the most interesting.
Against Uro? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, using the sky as a material was kind of a cool concept. Because it kind of broke everything. Because I mean, she was even able to like move the ground. Which I was really confused by. But
yeah, so I did have to look this up because I didn't know exactly what her ability was. Because she says I manipulate the sky like on multiple occasions, right? But then we see her like lift a parking lot. It's like, the last time I checked, parking lot, not the sky. But her ability is more surface manipulation, and she can treat basically anything as a surface. Her preferred method to use this ability is to essentially, quote unquote, turn the sky into a surface, into a material that she can manipulate, right? But it does still carry over to actual surfaces, as we see multiple times in her fight against Yuta and Rika.
Good.
Gosh, I think for me, one of my hypest moments of the fight had to be that triple domain expansion. You know, when they all said, I mean, it's so simple, right? But they even give you like little glimpses into like what it kind of looks like as they're setting up their domains. You see the barrier enacted, and it's just this like cool moment of like, oh my God, like I didn't even know you could do that.
Strongest. Yeah.
Right. At least that's how they set it up, right? Like, you know, what's it gonna be? Like, who has the dopest domain? Like, style points wise, like, how's this gonna work? And then we see Kuroshi, the cockroach spirit.
See, my confusion though, is that the barrier, the domain fell apart once Kuroshi entered it. Because we've seen Itadori enter into a domain.
Hell, we've seen Toji do it. Megumin and Toji in the fight against Dagon. Yeah.
So like we know it's possible for that to happen. So why did it break apart?
I think it's kind of the domains, and this is conjecture. The narrator basically says at some point like the domains were like so perfectly balanced, and they were kind of like essentially keeping tabs on each other. And when Kuroshi enters, now you have to keep tabs against the other two people plus this like foreign agent that isn't acting with the domain, right? So I'm assuming the nature of having three domains clashing involves like a great deal of like concentration, precision, and introducing a foreign agent like that you weren't expecting for. And he's also like kind of like the perfect cursed spirit to enter because his ability is essentially cockroaches go, you know. So he can inflict a lot of chaos in there, and I that's my understanding, or at least what I took away from that standoff, that Mexican standoff. And we see like, you know, Uro and Ryu both were exhausted from utilizing their domains. So I think to me that's evidence of like it's already so taxing in this Mexican standoff that when that last element got added, that unexpected element, it ruined the whole thing, right? I could be totally wrong. It could be, hey, if you know or you think you know, you can let us know in the comments or at our email, animegourmands@gmail.com. Because we don't know. Like the anime doesn't explicitly state and Kuroshi introduced so much cursed energy that they had to account for. No. They just say like Kuroshi enters and it ruined the that balance because they were balanced at one point, right? Yeah. Did that make sense? Is that something that is satisfying, or?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's just one of those things where you kind of have to just kind of accept it.
Yeah.
Kind of like one of those. It just happened to be so exact that it broke apart once one thing was changed.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Mm-hmm. Cool moment regardless. And then Yuta wastes literally 0 seconds to re-murk Kuroshi.
Yeah.
So Kuroshi got he had his 5 minutes of screen time. He got 30 seconds more and then was murked again. It's really anticlimactic for the cursed spirit.
Yeah, I didn't have enough kisses. You wanted more.
Oh my god. I was like, okay. When Yuta gets hit with the flesh festering sword or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Obviously you're like, oh, Yuta's gonna find a way out of this, right? Whatever. I didn't think he was just gonna steal a kiss from homeboy over there with cockroach face. That was disgusting.
It was pretty gross.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And they don't oh my god, dude. They there's a lot of detail. If you see it, crunchy cockroach exoskeleton and you see part of his face ripped off. It's wild. Mappa went wild with that. So we see the episode kind of culminate after the 3-domain standoff gets broken. It turns into Rika versus Ryu for a little bit, Yuta versus Uro, which he basically dismantles quick. We see Rika at one point return to Yuta and eat Uro's arm. And then the fight with Ryu happens. I thought that that fight was so sweet, pun intended, right? Because it's the dessert thing, the dessert theme, right? We see all the desserts getting eaten and all that. And we see how Yuta's copy ability works, right? Eats Uro's arm, is able to essentially utilize that technique immediately. And then we see that he redirects one of Ryu's granite blasts to finish the job, right? And that's basically the end of the episode. Is there any other highlights of the episode you would like to spotlight?
No.
It was basically all fighting.
So. Yeah, it was. I think it was cool that they didn't just do all of them ganging up on Yuta. I think it was really cool to see them all interacting with each other, each fighting each other,
Yeah. Because they're not really against Yuta. They just want to,
they just want the points.
Yes. Slight correction, Uro calls him Fujiwara a bunch of times. Is it Fujiwara? I can't remember if it's Fujiwara or not. The implication being that Chika from our anime Love is War is descendant of a Jujutsu sorcery clan. No. But she keeps calling Yuta that name, right? And there's we get a little bit of backstory, right? She says that she was a slave with no name, but then she was only granted one with the express purpose to execute her, right?
Mm.
And that she holds it against Yuta's ancestors. I thought that was a fun detail that didn't necessarily need it to be added, but it added like a little bit of tension whenever Yuta and Uro were on the screen together. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yuta asks for Ryu's points, and then he confirms that he also took Uro's points. And then they do like a little bit of a sneak preview of the arcs that are about to come, right? Some quick peeks at, I think we see Megumin's sister, we see Sukuna, we see Hakari, we see a bunch of characters who were teased earlier in the season, who are, I'm assuming if they're showing us this, they will be involved in part 2. And that's basically the entire season of Jujutsu Kaisen, fully covered between our 2 episodes, our 2 Hypecasts, Cade. So now this is the part where I like to ask questions that contextualize where this season stands in your mind. So let's just talk about Jujutsu Kaisen seasons. Where does this season across the 3 seasons, and you know what? I'll even throw in the movie. Fuck it. Let's throw in the movie. Of those 4, which one, or where does season 3 rank for you?
I think this ranks as the lowest.
The lowest? Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I really enjoyed the fights, but I feel like the plot is really hard to get behind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it started out like that, like if season 1 was season 3, I don't feel like it would get nearly as much hype as it does now. Because it's really hard to follow along sometimes. And it's just because they tried to push so much into such a little time, like so few episodes.
There is a feeling of like they're expediting the story a little bit.
Sure.
It's I don't disagree with you there.
And I think it's a real shame too, because like when they're doing their exposition dump is during a fight scene, I'm having to look away from the fight scene so that I can see what's going on with the subtitles.
Yeah. That's very much a subtitle problem for
that
sure.
Is. But I refuse to go dub, so I guess.
No, of course. There's only one high-profile anime that I can say with certainty I prefer the dub, and it's Frieren. Mostly because Frieren sounds like a mom, like the dub actress sounds more mom-like, which I think goes with more of her character. But in the sub, she does kind of sound like a high schooler.
Yeah.
I'm like, I prefer the like older woman voice from the dub. But I digress. That's not what we're here for. Okay, so it's probably your lowest ranked of the Jujutsu Kaisen seasons. I personally don't, and I think I'm consistent with this. I don't put that much emphasis on plot and story for shonen. Obviously, if a plot is utter dog shit, aka something like Fire Force, it does hamper my opinion. You know what I mean? But it's not as a big part of the rubric for me. If I had to guess for shonen, it's probably like 30% of the grade. It's probably not even that high. It's probably like 20%. I love hype animation. and this was, I think, the hypest of the 3 seasons. No doubt in my mind for that. So with my priorities being what they are, this was my favorite season of the JJK. universe. Does this season elevate your opinion of Jujutsu Kaisen? Does it stay the same, or does it dampen your expectations for the series moving forward?
No, it stays the same.
Stays the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for such a dense rule book, like the Culling Game rules, like where it has to be explained in an anime rather than reading it, I feel like I have to kind of give it credit,
right?
Because like anything out there that has like a similar concept, I guess, is gonna run into that issue where they're having to explain the rules. They're gonna have to explain, why they're doing this, why they're doing that. And this one just happens to be longer than most. So I'm trying not to let it ruin my expectations of the rest of the show. Because I feel like this is already over now. Like they've already done their lore dumps. They've already done their explanations. So part 2 of the Culling Game is going to be a lot more easy to understand, easier to digest.
Right. There shouldn't be as much exposition dumps as much like yeah. Okay. I think that is a great place to leave it off. Unless, Cade, you have any questions you would like to throw out there regarding JJK.
No, I'm interested to see where it goes, and I don't really want it to be spoiled. So
no, same. It's a double-edged sword for me right now, because now that the season's over, there's a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen content creators on my YouTube feed, and I like learning about Uro's technique, for example, like was done with a couple of episodes with a creator. I don't really remember his name. I got to get that. I got to find that in a second. But excellent videos, right? And the only problem is that they keep talking about the manga sometimes too. And I'll get like a video and it'll have a caption. I'll be like, wait, that hasn't happened oh, God damn it. They're talking about something that hasn't happened yet. And just the fucking title of the video is already like triggering my spoiler radar. I don't know. I hate it. I hate waiting, but I hate spoilers more. So the anticipation is rough. Looking forward to part 2. And of course, you can expect a Jujutsu Kaisen Culling Game Part 2 Hypecast when that comes out.
Which is when?
Good question. I don't think they've done a formal announcement yet. Let me see if anything has come out. Oh, it is okay. The Google AI is just essentially telling me there's a lot of speculation it'll be winter 2027.
Pretty far out.
More than likely. And to me, winter 2027 is pretty hopeful. That's an optimistic date. I would say for me, spring would probably be more realistic. This Mappa, I mean, it's not like JJK is the only project Mappa's even working on right now. I mean, they just finished Hell's Paradise as well, which has been excellent, by the way. That's a great show, as well. A little exposition heavy this season, I will admit, but the fights are excellent.